AITA for causing a mass exodus from my uncle's barbecue? My F32 uncle, M71, and his wife, F69, recently hosted a family barbecue at their home. This is normally a rotating thing, so everyone in the family takes turns hosting. My uncle is a very difficult man to get along with, and I mostly went because it is important to my mom, F66. He is very rigid in his beliefs and will make it very clear to you if you have done something to offend him. Once that has happened, there is no chance for redemption, regardless of whether you are family, friends, or a stranger. While at the barbecue, everyone was standing around and my daughter, F6, helped herself to a banana from the fruit bowl. Now obviously, you shouldn't take anything that doesn't belong to you without asking. But she is 6 and manners are still being learnt. Not saying she was right in this. That being said, my uncle lost his mind. He called her a thieving brat and started threatening to call the cops. I stepped in and he told me to pack up my stuff and go because he didn't want thieves in his home. He told me that neither myself, my daughter, or my husband, M33, would ever be welcome again because clearly this was a taught behavior. I was furious. I told my uncle that this intolerance was why he has no friends, and why we only visit his home out of obligation. I told him that without my mom's family values, there wouldn't be anyone at the barbecue. In the middle of this, he pulled out his phone to call Mr. Police and ask how a little girl would survive in prison. My daughter was beside herself, so I gathered her and my husband, and we left. Apparently, after we left, my uncle was ranting and raving, and eventually my cousin, F24, not his child, told my uncle that he was lucky he didn't try with someone else in the family. Because I was still polite in what I said, she told him that she refused to eat at the home of someone who thought it is okay to bully a child. As my cousin left, apparently quite a few people followed, and suddenly it was just my uncle and his wife left. His wife has been calling me telling me that I humiliated him in his own home and I can't expect his generation to be PC. She has also told me that he has been moping ever since because he feels like an outcast in the family, and that I shouldn't have been so harsh. I am glad I stood up for my daughter, but I never intended for everyone to leave as a result of the banana. Now I wonder if I was too much? Was I the NTA? I don't see how being PC has anything to do with this. He blew up at your kid for a minor infraction. Heck, he was the one that told you that you, your husband, and kid were no longer welcome. The fact that all those people left proves that they all felt as you had, but did not have the nerve to speak up before. And they all confirmed you were not too harsh. Sounds like you're free from having to visit him again, at least if others want to make peace with him, that's their business. But you have nothing to apologize for. Expecting your family to treat you with decency and respect is not being PC. The fact is, the uncle sounds like a big bully. If he doesn't want to accept the consequences of being a bully, that's his problem. NTA, your daughter ate a banana at a family barbecue. Now when I host a picnic, I do not expect my guests to ask permission to eat the food. As a matter of fact, I'd be mortified if they did. I have no idea what's wrong with you, uncle, but he's going to die a lonely old man unless he gets his head out of his rear end. You did not cause a mass exodus from the barbecue. Your inhospitable, hostile uncle did that all by himself. Kudos for you for remaining gracious and polite despite his venomous attack on your child. And shame on your aunt for trying to normalize his nastiness. NTA. Accusing a 6-year-old of being a thief for having a banana at a relative's house is pure absurdity. I'm sorry your daughter had this experience. That is not okay. I would cut all contact with them personally. NTA. Was your uncle high? He shouted at a child for taking a banana? What? And then threatened to call the cops? No. You are not in the wrong, and I honestly think you need to cut him out of your life along with your aunt. NTA. And it was perfectly normal for your daughter to take the banana. She did not demonstrate any lack of manners at all. You guys, the invitees, have to ask permission every time you grab a chip from a bowl? Sounds like a very weird barbecue. You said what all your family has been biting their tongues not to say forever. You are the hero. And uncle reached the FAFO part of his life. Let the mofo mope. Maybe you can't expect people of his generation to be PC. This has nothing to do with being PC. This has to do with being a decent and sane person. He doesn't feel like an outcast, he is an outcast, and it's all of his own making. You never have to go back to his house. You win. NTA. Sorry. Am I to understand that there was a fruit bowl? Like a serving bowl of cut-up fruit or something? Out for guests? And if someone wants some of this serving dish fruit, then they have to ask permission? Do they have to ask the host if they are permitted to use the restroom? Where there is clearly no other option. And when one is hosting, this is a basic understanding of what they are offering. Your child didn't need to still learn about working on manners. Your kid literally behaved squarely within the social expectations of what one does as a guest at a party where there is clearly communal food set out. How absolutely weird that this is not the norm. Then to chastise, threaten, and terrify a child who clearly has a more nuanced understanding of socially acceptable behavior. Your uncle is trash, and I love your cousin for saying more in. By sharing her feelings in solidarity, giving courage to just about every other family member, he's probably been a monster too for them to show him, by their actions of leaving, what they really think of him. And look at it this way. Now there's no one there who could possibly steal his oddly displayed personal stash of fruit. He should be thrilled. Really. NTA. If it were out in the open, I would think the fruit bowl was fair game at a barbecue. An eating event. It is completely reasonable for her to think she could eat the banana, even if it were tucked away. Since she's 6. Who threatens to call the police over a 6-year-old taking a banana? NTA. He's expecting a child to have manners he can't summon a modicum of. If he's old enough to understand right and wrong, he's old enough to understand he's being an asshole. Tell your aunt this isn't about being PC, it's about being a decent human being. You left. You didn't invite anyone along for the ride. They chose to leave after. If he feels embarrassed in his own home, he can take comfort in the fact there won't be any guests over in the future for a repeat situation. Good for you for having a backbone. Old folks don't get a pass to be mean cause they're old. NTA. Your uncle is the asshole. Your aunt, uncle's wife, is also the asshole for standing up for him. NTA. This dude chose to bully your kid in front of everyone, then ask you to leave. Man humiliated himself. NTA. Why would you have fruit out in a bowl if it was not to be eaten? Rub his face in it. Go online and search wholesale restaurant foods. You can send him about 140 pounds. A banana's for around $150. Politically correct my ass. That idiot is a bully and downright despicable. Be proud you stood up for your daughter. NTA. NTA. You can teach your 6-year-old daughter to ask for a snack from family members without terrorizing her and saying she belongs to rot in jail. And from the sounds of it, everything you said to your uncle sounds completely true. Going off on a 6-yo over a banana at a barbecue? WTF? NTA. NTA. He kicked you out, and you left. Not your fault that other people took exception to his behavior. NTA. You stood up for your kid. That's all. It's not like you encouraged other family members to leave. They left of their own volition. And you're not responsible for that. NTA. Brava for starting an epic FAFO chain reaction. Absolutely NTA. Sounds like this was a long time coming. NTA. Sure, it's one thing to make this a teaching moment that you don't take without asking. But this uncle was excessively ragey. All over a banana. You didn't cause others to leave. They chose to. When they saw this be the final straw, your uncle did this to himself.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.